Hey YouTube, here gonna do one of these responses to things going on in the world around us, and holy wow, there's so much going on. It's absurd. If you haven't, please watch The Presser today with Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell. It's incredibly informative and impactful. You have to watch it. In a nutshell, the Dominion voting software has influenced elections all over the world, and the company who owns it keeps changing their name and moving headquarters. Uh, Here's an important point. If you ever have a conversation with a far leftist about this, and if they're ever stating anything like, there's all claims are unsubstantiated, even the 500 plus affidavits, um, even stating uh, like there is no voter fraud ever or something ridiculous like that, just point out to them the first politician in the United States, the first two people to call out Dominion were Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren, and they did in December of last year about the shenanigans that happened in the Democratic primary. The primaries this year were a rough not rough draft. Yeah, sure, rough draft. They were a rehearsal for what happened in the general election. The amount of shenanigans are absurd. Um, the Georgia recount. Let's just go by states and the recounts now, because this is a whole nother thing. There's multiple layers happening. The top layer, obviously, what we're all hearing about is like the recounts in Georgia, Nevada, Michigan, Pennsylvania. That's what we're hearing about. But then the deeper layer, the one that we heard in the presser today, is the Dominion software voting system. So I'm going to talk about the up top. Let's talk about first the state recounts. Michigan, this is the biggest one. Michigan, the GOP reps refused to certify the results because of all the shenanigans. Then shortly after, the Democratic Party puts together a Zoom conversation, and a Democratic rep in this Zoom call, which is public, it's on the internet now too, calls out the GOP representative by name and says their kids go to this school. So I hope they're thinking about that when they make these decisions. So they dox the children of the GOP representative. And so because of that, the GOP representative decided to go ahead and certify. But then Donald Trump calls this GOP nominee, says, go ahead and rescind your certification because we're going to protect you. So now they're in some sort of relocation program. And then these sort of same shenanigans are happening across all of these counties in all these states that are being recounted. And okay, so now I'll talk about Dominion, because this is the craziest stuff. I mentioned that they end up in all these shell companies that end up moving all over the world. The last place that we know of was Germany, and then the current administration arranged a raid for the servers in Germany of whatever company owns Dominion now. And it was like, apparently what I've heard, it was like an empty office building. Like it was like they just left and now they're somewhere else. This is the company moved again, and what I've heard now through investigation, people are finding it moved into Canada. So now we're in this international hunt for these servers, which have the correct voter count, which is insane. And as I mentioned before, elections all over the world, they're influencing elections in Venezuela, elections in other South American dictatorships, And who are they funded by? As I've mentioned before, I'll mention it again. They're funded by China, and they're partially funded by the Clinton Foundation. Huh. Well, that's suspicious. Regardless of anything, if you're talking to anyone about voter fraud and if they're giving you the left run around and saying there's no evidence, this is all substantiated, tell them this: Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar were the first two politicians to call out Dominion and their voter fraud abilities. And you can go online and confirm this, because the manual on how to manipulate votes is online, because the user manual for this voting software was left online, easily accessible. So now it's everywhere. So either you can keep listening to CNN tell you that everything is unsubstantiated, or you can go and look for yourself and check online. Anyways, I'm inside because it's a little rainy out. I want to walk, and I'm just here to vent because this is insane. Again, if you haven't yet, go on and look at Amy Powell's thing. This is the craziest thing that's ever happened in American political history. Since the American Civil War, this is the craziest thing that's ever happened in American political history. It is. Yeah. Anyways, as I mentioned, podcast. As always, you can also check out my podcast, which is in the description below, and we'll have another episode for you this week. Catch you guys later.